Welcome to Past the Current. I'm your host, Lan Mind, alongside Joviverse with the guns. Pew pew, as Solo Sokoa will say. What's going on, Jovi? How you doing? How was your weekend? What's going on?
What's up, man? Pretty good. I have some allergies right now, so excuse me if I sound weird, but we're good, baby. We're rolling.
You
So let's
sound and
go.
look great. This is a man who's
Thanks, man.
played Power World for the entire week, from Monday to this Monday, has not slept. He's already a level 90. And yeah, but SummerSlam just happened. The results are in. Storylines have ended and new storylines have begun. I wanted to get into the idea of what this means moving forward for WWE and why SmackDown is better than Raw after what we witnessed this weekend.
Ooh.
And I want to start with Kevin Owens returning. I think Kevin Owens returning after 17 months of being injured from a neck injury that he had during a match with Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event. This here is huge because he is now the number one contender after being revealed as a fourth opponent in a what was supposed to be a one-on-one between Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. They added Gunther to it, and then Kevin Owens made his way in, and the crowd went crazy. He wins. He's the number one contender to CM Punk, who actually beat Cody Rhodes. What are your thoughts on that, and where do you see these storylines moving forward between Kevin Owens and CM Punk?
Okay, so first thought was I recently saw a clip of him comparing a WrestleMania moment that Stone Cold Steve Austin had,
Yes, I
where
saw
he
that.
said he couldn't hear the crowd's pop, so he wasn't sure if they were cheering him or booing him. And I thought that was pretty interesting because after being away for so long, you really don't know how the crowd will react to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is the pop that you want. The crowd goes crazy that you're back. They're super excited. But sometimes they really don't care. And luckily for Kevin Owens, people were very happy to see him come back. I think it was a positive. I think it was a positive move, and I think we're all happy to see Kevin Owens back in the ring.
Yes. Mhm.
And I think the match between him and CM Punk will be a very great match. It will be a fun rivalry,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm looking for. I'm actually looking forward to that. How they play that story out.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the promos for me. Kevin Owens is great on the mic. CM Punk
he
is
is.
amazing on the mic. Having them two cross paths, that's never happened, by the way, is going to be amazing. And I don't want it to just be a one-off, like if they do it
Yeah.
at let's say if they do a crown jewel match, I don't know if that's gonna happen, or they do something at Money in the Bank in October, but I don't want it to be a one and done. I want this story to be a trilogy, maybe end at Royal Rumble or something. But I love the idea of having Kevin Owens back and what he can do with Sami Zayn, what he can do with Gunther, what he can do with Cody again. There's just so many other people. What he could do with probably Trick Williams. There's just so many other wrestlers that he can mix up with and it'll be a great program. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's why I think SmackDown has elevated in this aspect because there's just so many storylines that I feel Raw doesn't have that
Mm.
SmackDown will because of the results that we saw this weekend at SummerSlam. Another storyline, and we're gonna not talk about all of them. I think it's just the most important things and why SmackDown makes a better show right now, and that's gonna be Chelsea Green. She wins the WWE Women's Championship. No one really thought she would do it because of her character, right? You're thinking someone serious, maybe it's Jade Cargill or maybe it's Charlotte. But when you see her grab the title, you see how emotional she was and how happy she was. I thought this was great. The crowd loved it, and I can only imagine what it will be until we see her and Rhea Ripley go one on one. I think this is great. This is fun. This is fresh. What are your thoughts on Chelsea Green winning the title?
I am super pleased by that result. I think we're all kind of burnt out on the Jade versus Ripley
Or
matches,
Charlotte? Yeah.
or Charlotte, or it's been kind of the same thing for
Mm-hmm.
a very very long time. So this is a fresh look at the women's division.
Yes.
I think Chelsea Green is amazing. She's a great
Yes.
wrestler, and then she's also like Kevin Owens, great on the mic, really
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yes.
She's a beautiful person. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I think it fits perfectly for the new story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the future holds for her, but I know that she's definitely going to be holding on to this for a while. Maybe she gets to defend it at some point before
Mm-hmm.
Ripley comes back. I'm not sure if they're going to allow her to do that or not, but
Mm-hmm.
I hope they do I hope she gets to defend it at least once before we see Ripley come back. I'm not sure what the timeline on Ripley is right now, but
Yeah, no one knows. So
um,
we don't know how long she'll have the title for. That's why I said maybe 1 or 2 months. Who
yeah.
knows?
Yeah, so we have some time to look forward to Chelsea holding the belt and doing fun things with it and showing a fresh look at the women's division.
I agree, man. I think this is going to be fun for SmackDown. I think it's fun for the women's division. So this was big.
Yeah.
Another thing that was big was seeing Cody lose, right? We already talked about CM Punk going to be versing Kevin Owens. But seeing Cody lose, I know people were excited for this because I think they're a little tired of Cody Rhodes always winning, having to be the main event. He's QB1. But seeing Randy return to take out Cody really makes me happy because I feel like what we saw at WrestleMania this year just didn't live up to the hype. And I think having both Randy and Cody revisit each other without the title, without Pat McAfee, just give us what we want, as Dave Bautista would say. I think this is great. I'm excited to see what Randy Orton has to say, being that he's been gone since April. What are your thoughts on the return of Randy Orton?
I'm always okay with Randy RKOing somebody out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he could do that from now till he retires, and I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
I'm glad to see he's back. I know you've been saying it over the last couple of weeks. Oh, maybe it's Randy's coming up. Maybe Randy,
Hmm.
and now is the time. SummerSlam, he showed up. He took his place against Cody Rhodes, which was good. And like you said, I look forward to future matches between them that doesn't have the celebrity input
Yeah.
or anything in between. Just them two
Yeah.
building a great storyline, which we know they can do. They've been
Yes.
in the business forever. Both of them have
Yeah.
been in the business forever. So they can build up a good storyline together. And then yeah, man, I'm looking forward to see what the Viper does, bro.
Yeah, me too. Then we go over to the US title. Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin. The build up to a lot of these matches into SummerSlam were just mid, if not non-existent. This one felt rushed. It was only 3 weeks since Baron Corbin has came back to the WWE, and he's already in a title match at SummerSlam. He wins, but what does that mean for Trick? And I think this is great. It's not bad. I think having Trick Williams chase the US title versus him holding the title is a lot better because now you have Baron Corbin. He can do other things with other wrestlers in the mid card, but then you give Trick Williams something to look forward to. What is he going to do? Is he going to go after the US title? Is he going to have singles matches? Is he going to go after the WWE championship? He had that little interaction with CM Punk last week at SmackDown. So it's like, where do we go with Trick Williams? What can he do? And will he get a title opportunity maybe in October at Money in the Bank? And I think that's the important thing, giving him Money in the Bank with the fur and all that stuff. They kind of make it look like the way he wears his fur or the way they put the
Yeah,
white fur on the belt,
on
stuff
the
like
belt.
that, and
Yeah.
just always have him try to like do run-ins or surprises because he can go back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, having him mix up with maybe Roman, things like that. I feel like that would be fun to watch, and I think that's what's entertaining about Trick Williams because him losing didn't really hurt him too much. I think if anything, it helped him losing the title and seeing what he does on SmackDown with everybody else. It doesn't just keep him in that mid card anymore. He can just branch out and do anything that he wants. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that him having the belt for so long and not really having anyone to take it from him for the longest time until Corbin came back,
Hmm.
it did kind of handicap him. It left him in a place where it was very predictable, and it was very like, okay, we know what we're gonna see. We know he'll probably win, whatever. So now that he has lost it, like I said, like you said, it gives him more options, and we really don't know what they'll do with him because he is a phenomenal wrestler, and we do want to see him on. But now it's the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Which route will they take the story? And I think that's way more helpful for the WWE when you
Yes.
leave that element of surprise in, rather than having it as predictable as it's been for the last couple of months. So this is definitely a good look. I'm not really sure what they're doing with Baron Corbin either.
Yeah.
He's just gonna have to, he'll most likely be defending and winning for a little while, just because he is so new, or he just came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, but good for Trick Williams. Don't need who's the guy he's always with?
Oh, Little Yachty.
Okay,
I
we
don't
don't
want
need
him.
Little
Yeah,
Yachty.
please
We
get
don't need
away.
Little Yachty. I'm
But I don't think
sorry,
he's going
like his
anywhere.
music, but I don't like. Yeah, I know. I saw a thing you sent that he might
Yeah,
extend
he
his
might be
contract.
signing an extension.
So whatever, but I don't think he needs him. I don't think he needs a manager. But yeah,
Yeah,
to
I
each their
mean,
own.
I will say I feel like they have great chemistry together. They work well together,
They
but
do.
Trick doesn't need anyone, man. I said the same thing with Logan Paul when he was in the Vision. He doesn't need anyone, and it seems like Little Yachty's not going anywhere. Another person that's not going anywhere is Obafemi. He did win at SummerSlam, the trilogy between him and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar passes the torch to him, says, "I'm the past, this is the future." This is great. We all felt like Oba was going to win this anyway. But the question is, what do you do with Obafemi now? Do you just have him face Roman Reigns? Because there's not much for Roman to do either. The the storyline with him and Seth Rollins is done. Roman won.
Yeah.
That story is done. I don't want to see him and Seth cross path anymore. So
Mhm.
what do we do with Oba? I don't know.
Yeah.
He has been made to look like this monster, and I don't think a bunch of spears is gonna help take out Oba or Superman punches. And it seems like Roman has been doing a lot of his winning since WrestleMania on his own. No one
Yeah.
jumped in this weekend for him and Seth Rollins. What do you do with Oba? I don't know. So I wanted to know your thoughts. How do you feel about Obafemi moving forward after SummerSlam?
I think first of all, shout out to the homage that Roman and Seth did for I think it was for the
Dean
Shield
Ambrose,
because they
yeah.
had Dean Ambrose masks on
Yeah,
the floor. So that was kind of awesome to see.
and they
I
shared some of
really
his
enjoyed that
moves
moment.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that moment. As far as Obafemi is concerned, I feel like they're gonna do this weird like tower thing where he's gonna crush his way through the bloodline, heading towards
mm.
Roman, and then you know
Ooh,
he's like, I defeated this person, I defeated this person. Like, there's no one left in the bloodline. It's just me and you, and that's where they're headed for the huge match at WrestleMania this year.
I like that one, Jovi. I didn't even think about that. Cause I can see that, like he'll go through, like he's gonna go through Jimmy, and then he'll go through Jay, and then he's gonna go through
Yep.
Jacob. Like I'm
There's
beating
so many to go
everyone.
through, and
Yeah,
and it gives you time from here to WrestleMania to like
yeah,
set up all those matches.
yeah. I like that because I was thinking, what happens with Roman now? Who does he face? What do you do with
Yeah,
LA Knight? Like how do you? This is the World Championship title. You can't just not defend it. How do you set the
yeah,
story moving forward? That's why I feel
yeah,
like Raw is kind of like in limbo. There's so many unanswered questions between the tag titles and the World Heavyweight Championship. You also have the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. What does she do? Who does she face? We haven't seen Stephanie Valkyria. We don't know what's going on with that. And that was her first title defense since winning it at
yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. How do you? Yeah. How do you lose if you're not defending? You
Yeah.
know?
So, and I know it's not her fault, right? Like this is
Yeah,
WWE
no,
creative, but this is why
yeah,
SmackDown moving forward is more appealing than Raw. Because not only that, Chad Gable wins the Intercontinental title against Penta. Fine, that's great. They had a great match. I really enjoyed it. And
yeah,
it kind of felt like he was going to win. It was in Minnesota. They had the clap and he was wearing the colors and all that stuff. But what do you do moving forward? You have Javon Evans, you have Ethan Page, you have Rusev. It's the same characters. What do we do now that, I mean, you had to let Chad Gable at least hold the title for some time, but who is out there that seems appealing, seems entertaining? What are your thoughts on that?
uh, it's
You see,
tough,
you don't have
man.
no
It's
thoughts
tough.
either. I don't think anyone
It's
knows.
tough. It's tough because I keep thinking LA Knight because I feel like I want LA Knight to have a belt, bro. Like, and I think we all
Yeah,
do. I
me
think
too.
I think LA
Me
Knight's
too.
been over for so long that he deserves a title shot. I wish it was more than the Intercontinental, but they need to give him something,
Yeah.
and they're not going to give him. They're not giving him Roman's belt, and they're
No,
not giving him,
no.
CM Punk's belt or whatever. So like, where do you go with him? So maybe he has a money in the bank opportunity instead of Trick. Maybe,
That's
I
why
just don't
I
know.
wanted LA Knight to win, but I feel like now this makes more sense for Trick. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think they're in a tough spot, especially in that division there. I think it's a lot of the same faces,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of rinsing and repeating until you get something new, until you figure out something new and creative. which I don't know what the answer is right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with Raw right now. There's no true answer. You also have the tag team champions. Who is next up? There's no one in the tag division. I thought it would have been Enzo and Cass this Monday as we're watching it, but they've only been promoting Big Cass, no Enzo.
They're saying there might be no Enzo, which is kind of ridiculous, bro. Or
That
unless they're
is,
gonna surprise us, but I don't think any of us thought Big Cass was a great wrestler by himself. I think that it was Enzo and
yeah,
Cass, and
yeah,
that's what made the dynamic.
yeah,
Enzo by himself is kind of great, but to
yeah.
be honest with you, Cass is a little bit of a boring character, if you want to say it
Hmm.
in that way.
Yeah.
Without, well, I'm not trying to be rude, but
No,
he is
I
kind
agree
of a
with you.
boring character.
Hmm.
And I feel like Enzo is what hyped him up, what made
Yeah,
him the big man with the little man, and it was just a perfect dynamic.
yeah.
So them, I mean, they could be tricking us, but them not introducing Enzo is a weird choice if that's the route they're going.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how else to put it. I think moving forward, SmackDown seems more appealing. SmackDown is the better show. They're now 2 hours. What do they do with all of these superstars, all of these other storylines that seem more appealing than Raw? Only time will tell. But that's going to be it for us. Thank you all for joining. Until next time, keep gaming. Peace.